with the parsha, and let's go on to the other topics from there.
No. Parsha's so boring.
Be patient. So at the beginning of this parsha, we know that Yosef has been in prison for 2 years after he told over the Sarah Mashkim, the Sarah Ophim, their dreams, and the Sarah Mashkim refused to obviously do what he was supposed to do for the 2 years, and they let Yosef rot in prison. And Chazal say that that's because Yosef put his Bitachon in the Sarah Mashkim, not in Hashem. In other words, he trusted the Sarah Mashkim. He didn't trust Hashem as he should have done. So the question is, why is that a problem? Isn't a person supposed to make a hishtadlus? A person supposed to make an effort in everything they do in this world. So the question is, why is it that Yosef was punished for making an effort? If you try and make an effort to do something, to get something done, to accomplish something, that shouldn't be a problem. That should be what you're supposed to do. It's a big question, why Hashem punished him for this. Oh, 1 second. Another related question is, would Hashem punish us for doing this type of thing? In other words, if we put our trust into some human being and said, can you please help us out, help me out? Is that considered to be a problem of trust in Hashem or not? So the answer is, for us it would not be a problem. And this comes back to what we are allowed to do and not allowed to do on our own in this world. And it depends how big, it depends how big tzaddikim we are, tzidkanios we are, how much we have to place our trust in Hashem and how much we're allowed to do for ourselves. It's a big machlokas. Let me just speak for 5 minutes, then you can answer any question you want. It's a big machlokas between the Rambam and Ramban, whether the person should go to doctors or a person should daven and only go to doctors if they have to.
You said daven doesn't mean anything.
That's for us, that's right. But the point is like this, in terms of the Ramban, at the time of the Ramban, when people knew how to daven, and people knew how to do tshuva, so when a person got sick, what should they be doing? Should the person get sick, first go to Hashem and ask Hashem, please make me better, I'll do tshuva and I will daven? Or should the person just go straight to the doctors? And the Rambam held, go straight to the doctors. The doctors are put in this world in order to heal us. That's why they're here. And Ramban says no. And by the way, both of them were doctors. That was their profession. And the Ramban says, no, don't go to doctors. The first thing you have to try and do is get Hashem to heal you. If you're not on that level, get healed by Hashem, then you go to a doctor. 1 second. This actually has to do with something which the Gemara says that there was a king called Chizkiyo. You ever hear of King Chizkiyo? Chizkiyo did several things which Chazal praised him for, and several things Chazal condemned him for. One of the things that Chazal praised him for is that he put into hiding, he hid away something called the Sefer HaRafuos. He hid away something called the Book of Cures. And according to the Rambam, this Book of Cures was a book of magical cures. And Chazal praised him because it was a good thing that he put away these magical cures. But we're a book of real cures.
Is it a fact that it was magical?
What?
Is it a fact that it was magical?
We don't know, but that's what the Rambam understands it. And it says we're a book of real cures. He should not have hid it away, but it was only a book of fake cures.
You mean? Wait, can I ask you a question?
1 second, let me finish the Ramban. So the Ramban, on the other hand, said no, it was a book of real cures. They really worked. And Chizkiyo hid it away because he wanted people to daven instead, because that generation was on a level that they could get healed by davening. So therefore, he wanted them to be put away in order they should daven and not look at the cures. So this comes to the same thing the Rambam holds by regular healing. You should go to a doctor, and therefore doctors are good, and therefore you're not going to hide away a book which has real cures. That's the magical cures. The Ramban holds you should only go to doctors if you have to. If not, you should go and you should dive into Hashem and ask for Hashem's assistance. That's the best thing to do. And only if you can't, that doesn't work, so you go to doctors. And that's why the Ramban feels in times of Chizkiyo when everybody's a big tzaddik, that they should not need even real cures, and that should be put into hiding. Yes.
So let's.
Chai, what that's supposed to. But ask me about this topic, because I'm not going to show
I know,
you.
but now I forgot what my question.
Okay, when you remember, raise your hand. Yes.
Okay. So I remember it.
Yes.
The big question you said about why did you punish for putting all the effort into whatever? Is it because you put the effort into the wrong thing?
No, it's because Yosef was on a level that he should have trusted in Hashem. Which he should not have trusted. For you and me, we should ask people to help us out. Only Yosef was on such a high madrega, he was supposed to trust Hashem directly.
But he asked for help.
But he asked for help from a human being instead of trusting Hashem directly. Okay? Even if he wanted to ask somebody for help, the pasuk would tell us that he davened first, but it doesn't. It doesn't say he asked Hashem for help and then asked the Sarah Mashkim. What he's being punished for is for only asking the Sarah Mashkim and not going either first or only to Hashem. Yes.
So I say like every day I dive into Hashem that I'll be like really tall or something. So
It's not going to work. Because that's a miracle.
it might be.
You can't dive miracles.
But then I also go to a doctor's who give you medicines to make you tall.
Right. You can dive and the medicines will work.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
I
no.
I want to know. What does I'm very embarrassed about this. What does a Ramban and Ramban? What's their real names?
Rambam is Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon.
Okay,
Maimonides. Ramban is Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman.
My
Nachmanides.
friend goes
Who
to
lived
school
about
with
150.
Maimonides.
Lived about 150 years later. Okay, they both lived in Spain, and then they eventually moved out of Spain. Rambam Maimonides moved to Egypt. Ramban Nachmanides moved to Israel. The distinction between the two is that we say Rambam for the Maimonides and Ramban for Nachmanides. We put an emphasis on the first syllable for Rambam, for Maimonides, and emphasis on the last syllable, Ramban, for Nachmanides. That's how we distinguish between the two. Yes.
So if you're like sick and
Oh, wait a second. I want to speak about airplanes now.
Wait, but we can.
Are you want to talk about the
we
fields of
have
air? I'll get to your topic.
One thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you are sick and you want to get better, so you dive in to get better. But why do you dive in before going like to a doctor? Why don't you go to a doctor? But like Hashem puts the ideas into a doctor's head. So it's really the same thing as if you would, let's say, dive into Hashem, and he would like give you a sign, or I don't know, and you would go to the doctor would like all of a sudden come up with like a cure. And so what's like?
That's a good question. Let me come back to it in a minute, okay? First, I want to talk about airplanes. One could ask the question, what is why is it mutter to go in an airplane? It should be also to go in an airplane because it's dangerous to go in an airplane, right? Airplanes.
Don't put this one on your YouTube channel.
What?
Don't put this one on your YouTube channel.
Why?
It's too few people.
Airplanes can crash, right?
Oh my God!
Since airplanes can crash, so therefore one shouldn't be allowed to go in an airplane. But for that matter, one second, why is one allowed to go in a car? Cars can crash.
There's more chance of a car crashing than people.
That's
flying.
right. So we should be usher to drive in a car.
What? So we should be us to also walk. When you
I was going to get to that. For that matter, why does they have to walk across the street? People get killed crossing the
You
street.
think of falling off your bed? Why do we
You
go
could
on
get
bed?
killed
Right,
by
why
waking
do-
up.
right.
But somehow you'll die.
Right.
You can get a stroke or a heart attack.
Right.
You're scaring me now.
So now, yes. So the question is, where do you draw the level? Where do you draw the not the level? Where do you draw the line?
Nothing. You just don't.
Did you want to say?
trust. You have to have.
What do you want to say? You want to
It's
say?
11:50.
It's fine.
Okay, we have 10 more minutes, right?
Oh, we do?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought I ended the call.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. Okay, continue. What were you saying, Jason?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to ask about walking.
Walking. Okay.
Can I say a very funny story?
No. First, let me finish the
He
story.
needs to help me with scaring me.
Yes.
With unscaring me.
Okay. So the question is, why you're allowed to do anything which has a slight amount of danger, and where you draw the line. So I want to tell you before we go further that
I know you draw the line by killing yourself.
no, it's definitely usher to go skydiving.
What?
There is no head to go
Mordecai
skydiving.
Shapiro went skydiving in his new music video.
I know, he did.
So I'll tell you what.
That's not us or don't. He's a.
He's such a hush of guy.
Do you want me to tell you why?
I love him.
Do you want me to tell you why it's mutter for him and also for you?
Yeah.
Because you're allowed
He
to
did it
put-
for a good cause.
No, not for a good cause. But the halacha is that you're allowed to put yourself into a place of suffix sakonas nefashos, where there is
There's a new indoor sky.
There's a reason why.
the potential danger to your life if it's to make money. So I'm sure that he in his new video, in his with his.
to sacrifice, like if you're gonna kill, if somebody's gonna kill you.
Yes, but I'm talking about a less noble cause.
Okay.
If you need to make money, there's a special halacha you're allowed to put yourself, like a person is allowed to become a tree trimmer, even though a tree trimmer is a very dangerous profession.
It is.
Yes, you have to climb up very high in order to chop limbs off trees.
Oh, and then they're gonna fall on top of you and you're gonna kill yourself.
They're going to die.
Scaring me.
Or they're allowed to work on become a roofer, even though a roofer has a very dangerous job, might fall off the roof and die.
Also, plumber.
What?
A plumber.
I don't know, plumbers that's dangerous.
Flush
No,
himself.
a plumber. Yeah. No, a plumber could also be going underground and
And then,
Right.
and then he'll get poopy all over their face.
This is not going on your YouTube.
And a miner, person could be working a mine, even though the mine can collapse. Because there's a
And then they'll be suffocated.
there's a special, the Torah special has a passage that says, Ki love who no sayest nafsho. A person who works, you have to pay his wages immediately because he puts his life on the line to make money.
And this has to do with
And-
airplanes.
Yes, I'm getting there. And therefore, a person is allowed to put himself into, because that pasuk says, "A love no say it's not show." From there, we learn a person is allowed to take a job, even though it's somewhat dangerous. No, but a regular person, when they're allowed to put themselves into a case of sakana, faces a danger. So there's a general principle which Chazal call actually shomer pesoim Hashem. God watches the fools. Now, God watches the fools.
We're a fool?
Now, well, we're
I'm a fool? No, I'm the smartest.
You knew it.
now, how do we understand the use of? How do we understand the use of this term? So it doesn't mean literally that everybody's fools. What it means is that once something becomes an accepted way of behavior in this world, so you're allowed to do it, and if you don't do it, then you're still being silly.
A lot of people.
So wait a second. If a person is, if most people in this world drive, the first 500 people to go in cars were crazy, and it was also for them to go. Then the 501st, that makes the numbers is random. But the 501st, that was okay, because at that point,
But how do you know if
it
you're crazy or
became accepted behavior to go in a car. More people in the cars, they were considered safe. At that point, Hashem clearly says, okay, this became normal human behavior, therefore it's accepted, you should do it. Not to go in it is foolish. The first 1,000 people to go in airplanes were crazy, and it was probably also for them to go, unless they're making a living somehow by doing it. For the 1,001st person to do it, for him it was mutter because that became accepted behavior. Skydiving is still not accepted behavior.
Why not?
Most people don't go skydiving.
Not true. So many people go skydiving.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I know so many people.
You know so many people?
Yes, I do.
How many people do you know went skydiving?
I know at least.
You're lying.
Mom,
Okay.
I know people that do it for a living. They bet on it, and then there's like 5,000 people watching as they come
What? I've never been there
listen,
before.
and they don't even have a parachute, and they land inside a net.
Okay, then that's a ridiculous way to
But
make a
they
living.
make money.
Right, they make a living, then that's the way that's permitted. But for you, it's also go skydiving.
But what if I wanted to, which I don't?
It's also, yes.
Can I see my friend Lisa now, please, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, I saw.
She fell into the toilet.
No! Basically, I saw this picture. So it was very funny. Like, try not to laugh. Like pictures, and so someone, a Jewish man, like a Kohen, was flying, and they had to fly over a cemetery.
That's disgusting.
But and Kohen gang go. So
He put himself into a garbage bag.
no, he actually wrapped himself inside like a plastic bag the whole entire 12-hour flight.
Why? What's so
Because
bad
you
about it?
can't go
Why do it for
over
12-hour
cemetery.
flight?
No, Rabbi.
You only do it for-
He
you
was
only-
going to Israel.
No, I know
and
they're
they're going to
different.
pass.
I have a problem.
Yes.
Let's say you want to donate a kidney. So it could be dangerous.
That's a sad topic for me.
It could be dangerous. What's sad? What is sad?
It's none of your business.
Okay. You could, if it's dangerous for you, but technically it could also be good for you.
It's not
so you do it.
dangerous. Oh my God.
So it's a good
guys,
question.
You don't understand how these
The
things work.
I do. My dad donated the kidney.
Okay, so
the
he only has one.
Radbaz, one of the early Achronim, says that nobody can force you even to get scratched to save somebody else's life. Whereas the king says, "Let me scratch
It
your
was his
ear."
father's life. Of course he would say.
Can I let me explain that? And somebody said to you, "Scratch your ear, otherwise I'm going to kill Ruven." So you can say, "I don't want to scratch my ear, and it's too bad I'm Ruven, but I'm not going to
He's a
scratch my ear."
selfish guy.
Why is that? Because Rabbah says one can die from anything, even from a scratch, because you can get infected, and then a person could die,
Like strep in the
even
blood.
though the odds are low. But Rabbah says you're allowed to put yourself. That's one of the things which you're allowed to put yourself into danger in order to save somebody else's life. That also is discussed in the Torah.
Danger. You're still not like.
So that the bottom line is that I can't force somebody to give a kidney, but if they want to give a kidney, it's a mitzvah to do so.
Really?
Yes.
So you mean like once they figured out that he was a match, you have to?
No,
But it will
You
be a
don't
very
have
sad
to.
thing if you don't. You know the
it's
process.
a mitzvah, but you don't
No,
have
the
to.
doctor said you could back out whenever you
Right. There's a story about Reish Lakish, who was one of the great Amoraim, who at one point in his life he was a bandit.
Wow.
Right? He was a bandit.
Those are so scary.
And
Those creep me out.
bandits, you creep you out?
Sorry, what was I
So at one point in his life he was a bandit. So there was one of...
Rob was a bandit?
Yeah, he was a bandit. He did
That's such a
tshuva.
sad story.
Why?
He
He
did
did-
Shuva.
Poor
Tshuva.
family. Oh my gosh, I would never
He wasn't
talk to him
married.
again.
So but then he wasn't married. He got married later.
Oh, okay then.
So anyway, so once upon a time, a certain Amora, a certain sage of the Gemara, was taken captive by bandits.
What's a bandit?
An armed robber, a bad person.
A bandit?
So once upon a time, there was an Amora who was taken captive
Wait, was
by.
he a rub yet?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, this was.
We have to go soon. Stop interrupting.
Yes. At one point, a certain Amora was taken captive by robbers, and this is after Reish Lakish had already become a Baal Tshuva, no longer was a bandit anymore. But he decided he's going to go and allow himself taken captive by the same bandits in order to be able to save that other person who was taken captive. And he allowed himself to be taken captive, and then he went and he attacked his captors because he was obviously an expert at using violence in a good way, and therefore he was able to save the other Amora. So for you and I to do that would be forbidden because it's too great a danger for us to do it. But if you're an expert bandit already because you learned to trade earlier in life, then you're allowed to put yourself in danger in order to do that.
Let's say there, but is it the same thing that like if there's a huge fire, there's a house on fire, the whole thing's covered in fire, and there's a child still in the house. The firemen don't want to go, but